Let's dive into this pedal board. I want to hear how this big bad boy can growl.
Okay. What do you want to hear first?
Well, I guess we could start with the Palisades. Let's start with that, just because I want to hear how that gets through that.
Okay.
And like maybe in a context of like when you kick on the Palisades with the baritone. Is there any song specific?
For sure. Well, I use the Palisades for almost every song that has a heavy section. It's a pedal, it's Earthquaker Devices, and I believe that it's modeled after a tube screamer.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but it has these gain A, gain B, and a boost section. Haven't really been using the gain B. Use gain A, and then I use the boost, like in protection.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in combination with the Black Eye, which is a boost, I don't know what this pedal is modeled after, but I leave this on all the time. It just kind of like adds clarity to the tone and some nice volume. So yeah.
Cool.
It's like a super thick, super heavy
But it stays
overdrive.
Tight. It stays pretty tight with the baritone. Sometimes, distortion pedals or dirt boxes with the baritone, it's already really loud and rumbly. That still keeps it the low end.
Yeah, and there's a integrity to the note value, like the tone of the note that remains. So I really love the sound of it. I've gone through a lot of different distortion pedals and overdrives, and this is by far my favorite one.
I think the next pedal I got to ask you about is just because I associate with it is the Deluxe Memory Man, but with the Hazarai.
Yeah, that's my main thing.
What makes that so special for you?
This just one setting that I use, which is the reverse echo, and I have this sort of preset dialed in. To me, it just has a very beautiful sound. It's unique. It's very instrumental for me in creating like a vibe and creating, filling out a space. So you can hear like there's a lot of repeats and like it's reverse repeating. I think it just creates a dreamy atmosphere. It's probably my favorite pedal. Like if I could leave with just a couple pedals, and
the Memory Man.
That would be the one.
Yeah.
I've had like 4 or 5 of them.
Before we go any further, I mentioned that you have your initials on all the pedals, and that was something your dad taught you, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to put your name on your tools. If they get stolen,
it's a smart move.
That's mine.
It's a smart move. What about something like I don't know if this is the baritone song, but like Dark Horse, that has a lot of dynamics where it goes quieter, softer to pretty heavy stuff. Is that getting included with the Palisades and the Black Eye?
Yeah, I'm using a lot of we do a lot of stuff on that song. Like all of these pedals end up getting used in that instrumental section, like kicking on the Memory Man to sort of fill in some of that, and then turning on the whammy. I typically, when I use the whammy, have it just up 1 octave set to an octave above. And
do you use it in conjunction with the baritone ever? The whammy, or is that just kind of for the T-Bird?
No, I do. I use it in the song Dead Set Eyes. I use the whammy.
I'd love to hear it.
Yeah.
Just to hear it through the baritone. I don't know if I've ever heard a whammy through a baritone.
I mean, I don't do a lot of the like crazy squealy sounds, but
just the octave up even.
Sure. Yeah, and then I've been capoing around touring on this record, trying to like minimize how many guitars I tour with.
Yeah.
It just becomes impractical at a certain point. So getting a lot of use out of a capo.
Would you say it's a writing tool as well, or is this just kind of a touring thing? Like
It's a touring thing.
Yeah.
I don't typically write with capos, although maybe I should start because having to relearn all the songs. Yeah, typically what I'll do is I'll have my guitar tuned a certain way, write a song in that tuning, and then completely change like the key and tuning of the guitar to record and to write. And then it's this whole backwards process of like relearning the songs, and obviously trying to minimize changing the tunings live. So hence the capo. Yeah, it's a bit convoluted, really, but it saves me from having to
It's your
cart
own
around.
wild recipe.
It is. Makes zero sense.
As long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters.
So yeah, this is probably the most extreme tone that I will have in the set, is the combination of the whammy, the black eye, the Palisades, and then these three things just are constant. That's the context I have. So everything runs into the M9,
Okay.
and then I split it from there into the stereo situation where I'm going out into the context to the Fender, and that's just a reverb pedal. That's the Red Panda. And then the other side I have two Boss pedals, a DD6 and an RV5 that are going to the jazz chorus, and those also just remain on all the time. I don't fuck with them at all.
Yeah. And do you use the reverb or the modulation at all?
No.
So that's, you're coming from the pedals.
Yeah, coming from the pedals. So yeah, this would be probably the most extreme tone. I hope not to hurt you.